Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Housewife Historian, and we are here to talk the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm going to be talking a little bit in code today because if you watch my channel and you watch my live, yes.
Is the plane going down? Are we gonna die? Why are you saying I'm sorry?
Hey guys, how are you? Give me 2 seconds to get situated. I had to grab my notes. And my drink. And my chair. Alright. Hi guys. How are you guys? Let me see my comments. I hope everyone's having a good day. It's really beautiful here today, so I'm outside. And today is so serious I had to take notes. That's how serious it is today, guys. A lot of information, a lot of stuff going on around the blogs, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. How is everyone today, guys? Make sure you comment. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I love to see, just where everyone's located at. Today we're going to be talking Real Housewives. Of course, everything in this video is alleged. We're going to try to be sensitive on some topics, but, we're just going to do the best that we can with this video because this is sort of a discussion, but there's a lot to talk about because Bravo, well, okay, the Real Andy BH, he has his own channel. I've been on his panel before. Like, he's always super nice to me. We're in the blogger community together, and I enjoy his content. And he recently did a video. He's like in Germany, but he gets tea, of course, wherever, because that's just how it works. And someone basically told him Andy Cohen is like in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble for his behavior towards the housewives. I guess we saw the scene of Teresa during the reunion, and we saw Andy yell at her. We also heard him say that he apologized, but there were still a lot of fans and a lot of viewers who did not appreciate the way that they felt like Andy Cohen spoke to Teresa Giudice during the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. I likely couldn't agree more because unfortunately it's sort of a weird dynamic because he is the host of the show, but yet somehow he's also their boss. And so in a typical format for a TV show, reality show, the host usually isn't necessarily their boss, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't that seem like a weird kind of equation? I think Andy Cohen obviously is amazing. We all have a lot of respect for him, and he's done an amazing job, creating these franchises and pulling these women and really giving everyone, years and years of amazing housewives and amazing content. However, I think there's some contributing factors that we also need to consider. And one thing is Andy Cohen burnt out? I mean, is Andy Cohen just burnt out? Is he overworked? Not necessarily underpaid, but just overworked. He's involved in everything. He just came out with a new book. He's here. He's there. He has 2 kids. He also does every single one of the Housewives reunion. And a lot of people that are coming to terms with the fact that the Real Housewives of New Jersey is going on pause, they're coming to terms. People are finally coming to terms with that. However, a lot of, I guess, part of the reason allegedly is these issues with Andy Cohen, and allegedly this is coming up in the boardrooms and his name is coming up. Now, obviously, I don't think that replacing Andy Cohen is something that Bravo is probably wants to do. I mean, nobody can do Andy Cohen's job like Andy Cohen can, obviously, just like the Real Andy BH said on his channel. If you guys didn't watch that video, you should go check it out. one thing I love about him too is he gives us content too. He doesn't just report on what's happening. He also gives us some thoughts, right? And so a lot of people just kind of making predictions and sort of giving suggestions on what they think should happen with the cast, who should be fired, who should stay, what we should be doing with Andy. And I think that maybe if we could find a way to keep him more of a mediocre, he's like their boss, but again, how's he like hosting and supposed to be unbiased opinion during the reunions? Another point that the real Andy BH said in his video, which really made sense. I'm just gonna put your guys' comments up here as I'm going, and we'll go back and read some of them. But Andy Cohen is not replaceable, but is there a way to sort of bring somebody else along and like have like a tag team, like have two of them, and maybe one, does the East Coast and one does the West Coast? I'm not sure. I just don't think that cutting Andy Cohen out of everything would be the answer. I do think that unfortunately behind the scenes, what we haven't known is there's a lot of pettiness that likely is going on behind the scenes, because we see how the women sort of play off of each other as it comes to Andy Cohen, right? And Andy Cohen like yelled once during a reunion, and then after that he yelled at every single reunion. It was like a statement basically he started to make at the reunions. And sometimes if you go back, there would be reunions and he hadn't even maybe seen all the footage or watched the entire season, and that's typically not with any of the franchises that are making him a lot of money, right? So he's never going to go into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion and not remember confessionals or things that transpired during the season. But we've seen Andy Cohen go into reunions before with mediocre housewives reunions, and maybe not having even watched the entire season, not able to always go back and forth with the ladies because he's not aware of what's happened. So it would be nice if they could bring somebody on that could do some of that, and they could outsource some of the maybe the less popular franchises, and that way they could try somebody out. They could like let them build a rapport with fans and see how it goes. But just taking Andy Cohen out and putting somebody else in his place, it just doesn't seem like the logical thing to do. I'm not sure how he ended up the host and their boss at the same time, but that's how it goes. Unfortunately, it just seems like there's a lot of favoritism we've seen Andy have for some of the ladies throughout the years. Even when it came to business deals, I always think of Kim Zolciak. How she had Tardy for the Party way, way, way past she should have ever. She didn't have a following. She didn't have the ratings for Tardy for the Party. And he did it anyways, I think, as like, a friend. Also, they're saying that execs are upset with Andy Cohen about this because they feel like it gives validity to housewives who have made comments about Andy Cohen in the past, including allegedly Nene Leakes, because Nene, the whole lawsuit thing, and then allegedly Vicki Gunvalson was one of them. And what the real Andy from BH said on his channel was his source explained that housewives like Teddy Mellencamp and I don't think he said Heather Dubrow, but I think he said Heather. Anyway, the housewives basically that are just happy to be there, the ones that just fall in line, those are the ones that Andy Cohen wants to deal with, right? The Tamaras, the Teddys, the girls that are just happy to be there to film, like the Gorgas, allegedly. And so this is why sometimes we'll see conflict with Andy and maybe an OG housewife, because usually someone who is like built up a franchise like Nene or Teresa or Vicki Gunvalson from the Real Housewives of Orange County, they have an out of the box personality. It's not something that you see all the time, because if it was something we seen all the time, we wouldn't really be that interested in it, right? So obviously they're unconventional, if that is a better term to use. They're unconventional, and I guess producers feel like he ices out the OGs because they're harder to control. It's easier to do business with the I'm just happy to film type of girls, like Rachel and Danielle this season, right? So let me look at some comments, guys. Comments are going crazy. Candace tweeted, Andy got rich. Oh, yeah. I do remember that. I don't totally disagree given the way he treated Nene. You know, I didn't really want to talk about this too much because I don't want to deal with the military. But there is someone, I don't know if you guys have been like on Twitter, if you guys follow Trey Fab 2022. Another account I'm gonna tell you guys to go follow. They're resharing some tweets of someone that is allegedly or part of MG's team, and like the tweets are not so great. If you're thinking like homophobic, you're there. If you're thinking maybe even racist, maybe. So I'm not there to make judge that. You guys can make your own opinion, but I'm not sharing or retweeting any tweets from anyone, because that's not my place. But I will give you guys the two sites on Twitter that are sharing the information if you want to get up to date with what could be, if you want to go down that rabbit hole. The account is called Cancelled, Cancelled, and it's going to be and it's Chrissy with a K, so it's like Krissy loves LUVS balls BALLS. The other one is called it's going to be at Bravo F as in the letter Frank, and then Slur, SLUR. So those two Twitter accounts, I'll put them in the comments for you guys. You can go see what they are sharing as it pertains to some accounts. I think that we see sharing a lot of information, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Carolina. I like to get, I want to keep you guys up to date with everything. Angel Eyes, hey, I'd like to keep you guys up to date with everything, of course, but like some stuff I just cannot take on. I just can't take on more. You guys see all this grass I have to mow, all this weed eating and flower beds. I am a busy woman. I don't have the time to take everyone on, but I will definitely do what I can to like support the people that do have the have the balls to take these sort of people on. And that's why I always give a shout out to Trey Fab 2022. And she's on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. She was like one of the people that supported me the most when everything happened with me. And like just really a kind, like good-hearted person, and like will take on for anyone. So if you guys want to go check out those tweets that are allegedly again coming from some of the camp over there, the anti-Teresa camp, then you can check it out on those two Twitter accounts. I know sometimes people aren't on Twitter, so there were some Instagram people that asked me to DM them, so I did send them a couple of people. If you want them, you could DM me. Also, guys, let's go back to Andy Cohen. I wanted to touch on the fact that he also went on a podcast. Did you guys see the podcast? And he sort of, is he talking shit about Louis Relis? I mean, he basically is telling us that Louis said something different at the reunion than what he said at Watch What Happens Live. And Kim D on Behind the Velvet Rope, she was on David's podcast Saturday, because they always do their podcast and drop it on Saturdays. And she said that she felt like Louis was lightweight glaring at Andy Cohen during Watch What Happens Live because Teresa was a guest. and he was there with James Leonard, their attorney, and they were sitting in the audience, and Andy did bring it up. Again, an uncomfortable situation for sort of, I would think, any boss, right? Like, I don't even think a boss would want to be a host because you are kind of, but again, it's a very unconventional situation. But that would be a great place to like put somebody new and like let them host a night with Teresa and just have Andy Cohen there sort of as, backup, or like they could have two hosts. It doesn't have to just be one host. It doesn't have to just be one host. Do you guys remember at the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion when they brought in Nicki Minaj, which obviously I don't think they would ever do that now with knowing the things that we have heard. But yeah, they brought her in and had her do like a little segment, and that season it was really cute. I thought it was really cute. So allegedly this is also going on behind the scenes. But here is my thing. I don't think that this is what is putting New Jersey on pause, because it's not putting any of the other franchises on pause. Everyone else is still working. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they've already wrapped filming. David Yontef said on his podcast on Saturday, which I had said last week too, my assumption was that it was going to be a boring season. And he kind of said it better, as in like it's going to be more old school Beverly Hills, old school Real Housewives, where they're arguing about wine and cake bows, and a quick, easy 3-4 months, film it, and wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It's not going to be anything deep. Nothing. I mean, after last season and everything that transpired, I don't know. I don't know how you would come back from that, but Garcelle's come back, and she said that it was a light season and she probably needed to rest. But again, this is the opportunity whenever a housewives, like she did a lot last season, not necessarily carried the season, but she did a lot last season. So it's like her turn to take a water break and rotate the second string in. Which now I feel like it's time for Dorito to get in the ring. Like, where are you, Dorito? Okay. I feel like her and Camille Grammer are either going to be BFFs or not friends at all. And likely, I'm going to go with not barely friends at all, just because Camille definitely thinks that she's a little bit elevated when it comes to Doreen PK. That's just kind of the feeling that I get from her. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Hearing Andy is used to Joe Gorga's Chippendale moves. Yes. We've, people have said, what is the reason for, I mean, I think we can all understand that obviously Bravo is not going to just be like, okay, we're going to fire Melissa and Joe. I've said this before, guys. Teresa has a huge following. Melissa and Joe have a huge following. Obviously, Teresa is out doing NFL deals. She's booked and busy. Like, she's killing it, right? I don't think that Melissa and Joe necessarily have the opportunities that Teresa Giudice has. And that's okay, right? But they still have a following as it pertains to the Bravo community, right? So if you have hypothetically 100,000 people in the Bravo community and 20,000 of them are fans of the Gorgas, like, you're going to lose all 20 of those people. Like, there's no keeping them. I think the only way they could try to work something out is if they made her a friend, or they made him a friend, or they did like just a family TV show, which I think this is like a good idea. But hear me out. I mean, what if they just did a show just of Teresa, Louis, Joe and Melissa, and the kids, and they like do Summer House sort of, and do like 60 days or like Big Brother, all in the same house, all like, with therapy, family therapy bonding. I just think that would be, a great show. Like, sort of like Big Brother, but not, if you know what I'm saying. Like, you can't leave and you get filmed all the time. Yeah, something like that, I think, would really probably make the network a lot of money. And then also they would have to come to some sort of blow and then things would get better because they would still have to like spend that time together. So they're like, oh well, if we have 30 more days, like I guess they'll be nice to you. It's kind of like if you're in jail with somebody that you hate, but you got to be in jail with them, so it's like you're just gonna make the best of it. I think it's a great idea. Dee said, God, no. I would never tolerate that. She said, oh, that's funny. Leave them alone. 20 years. Let Teresa free those. Yeah, I agree. I do. 100%. Teresa definitely deserves to be happy. Unfortunately, I think it went so deep this season that I think that's why we're not going to be able to see them recover like we have been able to see prior. But again, a lot of people are pointing out the fact that MG did not send a RSV to Teresa's wedding. And it kind of saying, giving the whole, like, they weren't planning on going anyways type of vibe. If you guys feel what I'm saying. Like, why didn't you guys RSVP? And then did you guys catch during the confessionals that when Rachel and Melissa were doing the confessionals, Rachel was like, oh, the producers asked about the Instagram posts that MG and her family were posting the night of Teresa's rehearsal dinner and then the night of her wedding. And one of them even saying, like, this is better than a wedding. They definitely brought those up. Angel Eyes said, it would be funny to see Melissa and Joe and their kids on a spinoff and then have no ratings and then be canceled after 3 weeks. That would show the world. I still don't think it would. Like, they still have a lot of people that support them. I don't know. It's wild. I think they just have maybe a lot of family, and like their family has a lot of family. There's got to be an answer to it. Let's see here. Okay. And moving on a little bit. Also, isn't it kind of crazy that Andy Cohen did a podcast with those two girls? Andy Cohen doesn't do a lot of, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he just doing too much? Like, why don't you relax when you have an opportunity? You went on a book deal. You've been to New York. You've been to LA. You've been to San Francisco. Another great point that the real Andy from Beverly Hills made, you know, it's sort of, like the audacity to complain about missing your dinner reservations while filming the reunion that you're getting paid a lot of money to do while you sit there for 10 hours. Like, are we supposed to feel bad about that? Because, and I was so glad that the real Andy from Beverly Hills mentioned this, because it's like a lot of people go to work for 10 hours straight, 4, 5, 6 days a week. And, like, we have to hear the complaint that he's been filming all day long and he just wants to make his dinner reservation. And I also wonder if that's being exaggerated as well. Are producers exaggerating some of these things because they think that it makes the reunion seem more intensified? Or is Andy Cohen really like, I want to get the F out of here? And, like, why would you make dinner reservations on the day of the reunion anyways? Because you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be up all day. You're going to work all day. Like, I don't think that it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just like if you were going to have a hard day at work, are you going to make dinner reservations after, you know, you have to go to work for 11 hours? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Comments. What are we saying? Because Andy is a greedy loser. And there we have it. Thank you, Barbara. Hey, Yo-Yo. Thanks for joining. I love her. Hi, Monica. I couldn't do that job. I'd be yelling at all of them. I love it, Monica. We need somebody for backup. We need somebody that can come in. Like, Andy Cohen literally legit looks like he can't take a vacation. Like, I remember Dana Wilkie talking about this months and months ago. I don't remember to what specific subject, but she was like, Andy, it's okay to take a vacation. Like, he thinks somebody's going to steal his job if he takes a vacation. I think that maybe the environment there is literally so I don't want to say toxic, but I want to, because I almost feel like they pit the women against each other depending on the franchises. And so I feel like because everything is so toxic behind closed doors, that Andy is scared to go on vacation, because then they're going to be talking about him the way that they talk about the other ladies. I mean, is that possible? David and Kim would be a great reunion host too. That's actually a great idea, Monica. I agree with that. 100%. I'm sorry, I wrote that in French. What I wrote is, I think you are absolutely right on this, because I think Andy has a hard-on for Joe. Me too. Me too. And so do a lot of other people. They might just say that they just don't say it. I don't care. Andy Cohen has dinner reservations. It seems very self-centered. I think so too, Barbara. Like, a lot of the like, that seems very, is the word like pretentious? I can't even think of the word, but it's like very, like, the audacity of you. Like, people go to work all the time for 8 and 10 hours a day for a hell of a lot less than what you're making, and we're supposed to be feeling bad for you because I can't. You know what I mean? Understandably, yeah, I'm sure it sucks sometimes, like, sit through makeup and hair and yada, yada, yada. But it's part of the job. Like, everyone has parts of the job they don't like. And you guys do kind of sign up for this. So part of it becomes, like, how bad can we feel for, like, the housewives if you are signing up for it? You're getting the perks of it. You're getting the endorsements. You're getting the free stuff in the mail. I mean, it's crazy. Sorry, I have my camera the wrong way. I should flip it really quickly so that you guys don't have to see my arm. Oh, let's see. Andy definitely is in love with Joe Gorga. Another one. I'm flipping my camera real quick, guys. I hope this doesn't mess up my screen. Okay, sorry. There we go. Oh my gosh. Another person that thinks that he's in love with Joe Gorga. Oh, the biggest scandal would be if Joe left Melissa for Andy. Monica, I'm only have to give you detention, girl. Just checking. You're so funny. I mean, I don't know. Joe Gorga was a Chippendales dancer. He's very, him and Teresa are both kind of sexual, aren't they? I mean, he was talking about sex a lot after she got divorced. Let's see here. He wants fame bad enough. Joe wants fame bad enough. I know. So crazy. It's so crazy. I just think that, let's see, I grew up with Joe and Teresa, and to give you an idea, I'm 5'1", and I looked Joe in the eye. Cindy, you really grew up with them? Cindy, can we chat? Can we chat, Cindy? Dang. 5'1"? Really? Because I thought Melissa was tall. Melissa's like as tall as him, right? I mean, in the picture, well, like, if you look at them on camera together, if she doesn't have shoes on, they kind of look the same height. But I guess that would make sense, because I feel like she's really tiny. Sorry, I see blueberries and cherries down my road. That never happens. No, maybe I lied. Anyways, I swear I thought I saw a cop car coming that way. Cindy knows. Yes. So allegedly, Kyle Richards is really, really tiny in person as well. Like, she's really, like, just very, very petite, very tiny, very skinny, very short. And I feel like her and Melissa have a lot of the same frame, because when we saw them film together for the Ultimate Wives Girls Trip, it seemed like they were sort of the same size and the same height. And so that would kind of make sense, because Joe, it does seem like he's as tall as Melissa. Like, and if she has heels, she's sort of like hovering down, right? Cindy, you got me over here reading this. Another inch or two. Oh my goodness. She said, I was in Teresa's class in 7th grade and I may have worn heels, so give her another inch or two. Y'all, do you guys realize that somebody is in our chat that went to school with Teresa and Joe Gorga? Hello? That's a big deal. Joe Gorga is 5'6", Yo-Yo says. Teresa was older than him, so if she was in Teresa's 7th grade class, Joe was probably still, he's how many years younger? Like, I don't know, 4? So he would have been, younger and still growing. The way she stalked Teresa. Oh yeah, guys, did you see all that stuff I posted? I found like all these old articles, and there was this old article that had it was basically Teresa's mansion versus Melissa's mansion, but it definitely came from like Melissa's camp because all the digs were towards Teresa's mansion. They called it Teresa's marble mausoleum versus Melissa's mansion. And then they had photos of everything. They compared photos of everything. The windows, the furniture in the children's room, the hallway, the entryway, and even the swing set. I mean, it was insane. If you guys didn't catch it, I'm pretty sure I posted it on here on my shorts. If not, I'll make sure when I get off this live video that I did. If not, it's definitely on my TikTok and it's on my Instagram. But yeah. Make sure that you guys are hitting that like button as well, please. Cindy, I don't want everyone to get my contact. I don't want. That's crazy. I remember Teresa's first boyfriend. That is so funny, Cindy. Okay, I heard that she dated a man before Juicy, and that he was very rich, and that he was like what turned her, like elevated her and like showed her like what money was like, and that like unleashed something is what somebody told me. Somebody that knew her as well, that went to school with you guys. That's so funny. Yeah, are you friends with Teresa? She says, I haven't seen her since high school. Aww. Marge is not a great person. I think she'd absolutely encourage Melissa to leave Joe and find someone richer. 100%, guys. If they don't get contracts, I think even if one or the other gets contracts, something's going down. I've been saying this for months. Yo-Yo knows I've been saying this for months because I pointed out something. When everything was transpiring with me and what was going on, like, she didn't care about any content unless if it was like not putting her in a great light. Like, you could basically say whatever you wanted about the husband if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. Like, she was like, whatever, like, he's free game. Just take down what you said bad about me, please. And I was like, damn, I don't think she don't care what people say about him, because I think she has a plan of brewing. I spoke myself in the eye. Cindy says she was really sweet. Aw, and the others were mean to me. Oh, Cindy, I love that. Well, I don't love that, of course, others were mean to you. Gosh, that's terrible. I hate school-age kids that are like mean. I hate that. But that was really nice. I think that she is a kind person. We hear about how nice she is in person. We hear about that all the time, even from people that saw her during her book signings when she wasn't like huge yet, from people that see her at BravoCon. A good indication of how people treat others is how they treat their fans. And allegedly, she's very, very kind to friends. Angel, I said, I thought you were talking about blueberries and cherries. Truck driving by, and I thought, this isn't even the reason for it. LOL. The house they were staying in, they were supposed to sell. Melissa Gorga had no mansion. She was borrowing it until the bank said so. That goes to show how manipulative Melissa is. Yes. I don't know her anymore though. I heard it too, Lindsay. That guy had money. I want to say his name was like Mario or something. I don't know about that. I can probably find out. LOL. I'll be back. I have to pick up my daughter. My daughter. Oh, that's so funny. Ma'am's cheat with Lindsay. We have your contacts info. LOL. We won't have your contacts info. I know. So funny, Gloria. I know. That's what I'm saying, guys. You guys, like, people don't always know that, you never know who's going to show up in your lives, in your inboxes, in your DMs. Like, you just never ever know. It could be someone they went to school with. Sometimes it's an anonymous account, but it's definitely either them or their assistant DMing. I've had that happen a lot of times where I'm like, oh, this is so much the person that they're giving me the info about. They've just made a fake account to give it to me. It's fine. I'm going to confirm anyways, right? We always got to confirm. Sorry, I have to take my sunglasses off to read the comments. If Marge needs to focus on her marriage. Monica, I'm going to have to put you in detention. I'm not going to read the rest. I'm just going to let you guys read that at the bottom of your screen. I've been hearing that, though, honestly. I have heard that from, like, a lot of people. Do you think Melissa has come between Joe and Teresa? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do. If you go back and, like, watch the beginning episodes, and I think that there's definitely, I don't think that maybe Joe and Teresa had the most conventional relationship growing up as, like, a brother and sister. And I think that when each of them got a partner, it was hard for the other one because it took time away, right? Like when Teresa got with Juicy Joe Gorga was around all the time. They were able to maintain their close brother sister bond because Juicy Joe liked Joe Gorga and was fine having family there at the house all the time, and that wasn't a problem. But then once he like got his own family, and they said like Melissa and Joe have said before they were very jealous of each other when they were young, when they first got together and when they first got married, and that was why they fought a lot. And they just made it to where they wouldn't go anywhere without the other one. And in that way, that eliminated either one of them being upset if the other one was out and about. And we know this because they've told us this. There have been women, friends of Melissa's that were bridesmaids, and she wouldn't be able to go to their bachelorette parties because her and Joe didn't do things separately. And that means even going to families' homes or going to family events or parties or birthdays or stopping by, like whatever it is. Now you've attached someone to a family member at all times, and a resentment forms because sometimes I'm not going to be the same way with my like people that are like my brother and sister if my significant other's around versus how I am if it's just me and them. Like you're different. It's just the way I don't know. I'm just probably would be a little bit more like immature or whatever the case may be. It's still nice to see your family and not feel like their spouse is always right there or co-signing everything or just always having to like be right there in the mix. That can be frustrating for family that are very, very close. That's just my opinion. I think that Melissa did probably like Teresa, but at the same time, just like Teresa said, she tried with Melissa. She would call Melissa in the mornings. Well, Melissa would sleep in because she didn't have kids yet. Her and Joe had just gotten married. Teresa was up in the morning. She had Gia. I don't know if she had the other baby yet or not, but she was up in the mornings. So she's calling Melissa, trying to build a relationship, and Melissa's sleeping. And Joe has to tell Teresa, hey, Melissa sleeps in the morning, so if you could just like not call or whatever. I'm sure that stuff kind of like stung. for Teresa because she didn't have any sisters, whereas Melissa's sisters were older. They were busy with their own husbands and their own kids and their own lives, and I think that they maybe coddle her a little bit, like their relationship, maybe, because they're so much older. It's a shame because Melissa has become between a brother and a sister that has no family. I have no family as my parents have passed. I only have my sister. I couldn't imagine not having my sister. Joe, I completely agree. I understand my, same exact thing. Only child, parents passed. You can, it feels very bad if you don't have any family. And thankfully, Teresa does have family with Louis' sisters. And it does seem like they've, loved her and they're welcoming her. And so for that, we can be thankful and know that she at least has somebody now, because had this happened while she was single and it was just her and the girls, I think it would have been, much, much harder. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. Let me pin that. How do I pin this? It says, I love Teresa, and I really hate how her family and Melissa, the typical women that sisters and mothers hate to see, go through this bullshit. I agree with you. Thank you so much, Isma. I'm trying to post this, but it won't let me post your comment. I don't know why. Is it supposed to be private? Must be Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I am so sorry to hear this, Monica. I will message you. Monica, what's going on? Monica understands. She can relate to, and Monica and I have had this conversation. She said, feels the same. My sister and dad both passed, and my fiance then passed before COVID hit. If you ever need to check. Oh, Monica is such a kind person. She reached out to me to check on my mental health after everything happened back in April. So she is a really good person. And that's what I'm saying, guys. I don't think that, I think there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of family these days. People work, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are missing out when you don't have a lot of brothers and sisters, maybe, or nieces and nephews, or whatever the case may be. So that's why you have to be thankful for your chosen family, right, Monica? Like, everyone, I think, if you're blessed, you have a good friend or family that maybe they are chosen, right? And that's okay. And I think that's why Laura Lee Jensen was so upset with Margaret, because just like in this conversation that we're having and discussing, that it's hard when you don't have any family around, or all of your family have passed. And then Margaret and Laura are the best of friends, dearest of friends, 20 years. And then she gets upset with you and just disowns you for Christmas, knowing that that's sort of your, I don't want to say like your trigger, but your fear, or your, hardest time of the year by yourself, or whatever the case may be, because it almost feels intentional at that point, right? Like, if Margaret does that, like, is that intentional? You know that Laura Lee doesn't have family. She has her husband, but you also know that she confided in Marge about holidays and not having her family around. And Marge told her that she would never, that because she had Marge and they were the bestest and dearest of friends all these years, that she would never have to spend a Christmas alone. And whenever she got mad at Laura, like, it was around, I don't know, it must have been fall going into winter and into Christmas, and she just did not invite her to Christmas. And Laura took that as like the last, and that's when she called Jennifer and Teresa, because at that point she knew it was over, because it hurt her so deeply. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. What scares me is Teresa might hang on to Louis for his family. Unfortunately, Tamara, that is a good point to make. I think that happens more than we realize with couples. This happens just the same with men as it does with women, that we may love their family maybe more than we actually love the person. right? So I hope that her and Louis are very happy and that the negative things we hear are not, gosh, we hope are not true. A lot of people discussing though that they feel like Andy Cohen, even though he was upset at the reunion and even though he did yell at Teresa, that his anger was coming more towards Louis because of the fact that he is worried for his friend, he's worried for Teresa, and he's not liking what he's seeing either. That it could be coming from a place of concern, basically. Cupcake says there is not one person who didn't seem the series much more than usual. It's just a matter of ranking who I hate least to most. Oh, gosh, you're so funny. Tamara, she said she's alone. Okay, but here's the thing. If hypothetically something happens that JG and MG don't return to the show, I don't want to say this, but I feel like we could see a separation if something like that were to happen, possibly. Not just because of the show keeping them together, but because of the stress and the pressure and the resentment. Like, they're both going to be out of job. That's the thing. They're getting rid of two people, two incomes. That's going to be a lot of stress on a marriage. It's not like it's like they both work for the same people and they're both going to lose their jobs. Carolina says, I believe people can change. However, I truly hope Teresa will leave him before he ruins her. I am definitely someone who believes in change. I am all about second chances, reducing recidivism. But I think that change isn't as easy as people think or make it out to be. Change takes a lot of work, right? Because if change was easy, we would change our diets, we would change our whatever. Like, it would be easy. It would be nothing. We would stop drinking coffee. We'd stop drinking alcohol. We'd stop smoking cigarettes. We would stop eating cupcakes, whatever the case may be. If it was easy to do it, all of our lives would be perfect, right? Because really, every day, if we're really self-aware, we're getting up and we're trying to be the best version of ourselves today, but knowing if we were teachable yesterday, that today we're a little bit better than we were the day before, right? So not necessarily about perfection, but more just progression. And I don't know. I feel like business wise, I don't know if they don't have advisors put in place for Teresa. I don't know if they just go in willy nilly and make their decisions. Like, they have attorneys look over their contracts, or if they talk to like publicists, or how they do things, because it just seems like they pushed Louis onto viewers, right? Like, they just pushed him into this season. Whether Louis has a bad side and a good side, we didn't really get to see the good side because the whole season was such a shit show that what we did see of him, he was like having to defend himself and they was fighting, and it was, again, we're seeing him operate under what Bravo does best: high stress, tense situations, right? Like, I'm sure that filming with these, like, you're in stressful situations sometimes, especially when you're filming production, you've been there for hours, whatever the case may be. But they made the mistake of throwing him into the show, into a rough season, and then it's like viewers who love Teresa, right? And they could still love Teresa and be like, but her husband is like whatever. Dr. Contessa, she's a great example from Married to Medicine. Like, a lot of people loved her. I loved her, but her husband, not so much. I mean, and maybe not even as like a guy, but just like as a husband, from what we see from the show or whatever, right? So it's like, now it's Teresa and Louis, 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 Teresa and Louis. It's no more like Teresa. It's just Teresa and Louis, Teresa and Louis, Teresa and Louis. And I think that that's where Bravo, Teresa, and Louis, and her attorney, and her advisors, and whomever are making a big, big, big mistake, because you're forcing this man onto viewers and fans, and you got to give people the opportunity to make up their own opinion of him. And you can't put him in the middle of this circus ring that's been going on for years, that these people have years and years and years of rapport with, and come out looking good, right? Like, I don't know what would have possessed them to bring him on the show as much as they did. Like, I don't know why Teresa wouldn't have been like, look how they did him last season, right? I can only imagine, like, do we want to take on, regardless of whether we can beat Margaret? Like, sometimes it's about, like, is it about being right? Or is it about, do you want to have peace or do you want to be right? Do you want to have peace or do you want to be right? Do you want to have peace before your wedding? Or do you want to take Margaret on and show her who's boss? I don't know. Those are just questions that I would think that they would be asking before they would have went into this season together. Like, or that they have an advisor, or that their attorney, or that somebody else looks at them and brings these sort of things up. Maybe Bravo just swoops in and says, like, it's full-time or nothing. I don't know. I'm not sure how it works, but I just think that it would have been really strategic to slowly bring the man in and introduce him and let people get to build a rapport with him, because we have no rapport, and now the only side we have seen of him is not a great one, because and I don't think we would see anyone that's fighting. I mean, it's not going to be a good look for anyone. Like, I feel like this season was so edited, like, last minute, and a disappointment from production, just as much from the cast. I think they need to be held accountable as well. Production, execs, storylines, the storylines they came up with. You have a brand new housewife, Rachel Fuda, and you thought the best storyline for her very first season was gonna be about adopting her son that's, like, you know, young and in high school, and he seems very happy about it, and that's a beautiful blessing and a beautiful thing. But again, a lot of torn opinions. It becomes problematic because your people are like, are they monetizing off the child? Like, the mom, where's the mom? Oh, she's in prison. Oh, here's her mugshot. Oh, here, let's put an article out here. Like, we had nothing else on the drawing board, nothing else to pick from, nothing else. Like, I thought people in New Jersey were begging to be on the Housewives of New Jersey. Isn't that what Melissa has always made it sound like that everyone and their friend has interviewed to be on the Real Housewives of New Jersey? Like, this is what you come up with. I mean, Danielle, we like Danielle, don't we? A little confused by Danielle, because she, like, yeah, just confusing about her. Are you guys confused about her? I was just confused. Like, I thought she was coming on to sort of be like a younger, like someone that was, like, studying under how to be like a Teresa Giudice of New Jersey, right? That was, like, I thought, but she kind of befriended Melissa because that was the whole reason that she felt like she needed to tell Melissa the rumor that was being said, because she was doing it as a friend, which is, again, confusing because we know that Teresa and Melissa aren't friends. So it was just a little confusing, kind of like, oh, Paulie is, like, so amazing. We're all so happy for Dolores, and we're like, yes, Dolores, you're killing it. We love him. We love you. You look amazing. Paulie looks amazing. We met his family. Okay. Like, we didn't meet his kids, but we met his mom and his sisters, and we know Dolores is living there, and they're wearing rings. They were talking about rings, and then they just drop a bomb on us on the after show that, he's not divorced. What? I don't know. This just don't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, somebody had to let Margaret say it during the after show and then put it in. They could have cut it out if they wanted to. I mean, I know Dolores wasn't technically trying to hide it, but it's like, did production hide it on purpose until the end? It's, like, so weird. I don't know what they're doing. they have all this build up about this rumor about Melissa and this man, and then they have it revealed at the finale, so we can never see them work it out again because the season's over. Goodbye, have a great season. What the hell is going on? I'm not sure who's making decisions, but we need to look at some decision makers over there at Bravo, because things are getting a little sketch. Just saying. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to come on and chat. I hope that you guys all enjoyed this live today. I love being able to engage with you guys. Oh, Barbara says, I just love Danielle. See, I think Danielle's getting a lot of love. I think Rachel Fuda is too, though. Rachel's getting love too. I think next season she is coming strong, unlike the phony Rachel. I think David Yontif from Behind the Velvet Rope made a good point. He said that that Rachel and Danielle have a lot of friction between the two of them. They go at it, and they do. They go at it. So hopefully we'll see something there. I like parts of Rachel, but then again, are you guys like the Gorgas? I feel like are like the yes people to like Andy and the network, and it feels like, are they like the same? And it's like, I don't know. You guys know what I'm saying, don't you? Kind of know what I'm saying. Like, I like her, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't like how she like co-signed for everything with Melissa. Everything, unless the production made it seem like that during the after show. Everything. I don't know. Let's see, guys. I'm confused with Fuda. Me too. I want to like her, but I'm confused. I have a lot of questions. Right? I have a lot of questions. I think we have questions for Danielle too. And I'm like wondering, are they going to bring her brother and sister on the show? Is that what's about to happen? No part I like exposing the boy's mother was disturbing. I know. It was terrible. That's what I'm saying. Like, why such a problematic storyline so early on in the game? Like, do you guys I shouldn't have said that, but I'm just going to quickly say this and then I'm going to hop off here because I had a little bit of tea that popped into my head. Do you guys remember there was like a typed letter that was circulating around the blogs when Rachel first came on the show? Was it Rachel or Danielle? It was Rachel. And it was like, it must have been an email, and the blogger printed it out and took a photo of it and posted it. And it basically gave like her whole history, like her mom, because her mom used to go to the posh fashion shows allegedly. And there were like photos of her there, which like, who cares? That's good. Kim D was a big, for posh fashion shows were a big deal in the area, especially, back then. But like the story went that like her mom was married to her dad, but she had a best friend named Uncle Frank. And Uncle Frank was just the best friend, just family best friend for years and years and years and years and years. Bestest friend. He was there for everything, every holiday, every Christmas, every Cinco de Mayo, every birthday, every Valentine's Day, every holiday. And so the children referred to him as like Uncle Frank. And then it was come to find out that Uncle Frank and Mama were. Now that was all alleged. It came in from a blogger. It was like DM'd or emailed to them, I think. If you guys go back, it's definitely not on my Instagram because I don't have my old Instagram. Mine was hacked a couple of weeks ago, which is why I don't speak on some of the things that I know. But it's around. Look for it if you're interested. So So crazy, guys. All right. Well, anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed your chat today. There's 84 of you guys in here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. I always give, this video was a lax video. My lives are meant to interact with everyone, to talk, to chat, to get people's opinion. I let everyone know, like, don't ever be intimidated. Like, we do not have to have the same opinions. We don't have to have the same queens, right? How much fun would that be? It'd be no fun if we all loved and hated the same people. So don't ever apologize for your opinion, but comment, and as long as your comment's respectful, like, we can conversate and have a great show. This was a great live today, guys. Are you gonna go live after the reunion? I might go live after the reunion. It depends. Are you guys up and, like, I feel like there's so many people that go live after the reunions and after the shows. Like, I, never know if I should. Did anyone see Margaret roll her eyes when Dolores said, Paul, you still married mama? I did not catch that. Tamara says, yes, please go live after the reunion. Okay, all right. I might do that. Rachel is a lapdog for the Mean Girls. I also have to do my lives. I have to do them, like, outside because my baby is asleep usually afterwards. So, okay, if you guys want me to go live afterwards, I definitely will. I'll do it. I'll put a live in and we can chat about what happens. I feel like Bravo's just gonna give us breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs. That's it. That's all we're gonna get in the first reunion, I swear. Again, make sure that you guys hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. What I was saying was I put all of my tea through my YouTube channel first. That's one of the luxuries, if you will, of following my channel and turning notifications on. So I'm not gonna set, like, an alert that I'm going live in a day to give you guys tea. I'm literally going to come on and be like, I'm going live in like a half hour. I hope you can make it. Like, I have tea. And that's how that goes. It goes through YouTube first before I post it to Instagram or TikTok or anything else. So that's why I always tell you guys, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on, because you guys know I don't set alert. Like, if I have the tea, I'm coming on with it. Once it's verified, once I hear it, you're getting a notification, and then I'm going on live. So, awesome. Hey, Camille. I love Camille too. Monica. Oh, ladies, I think we had a great live today. Thanks for hopping in. If any of you guys are interested in being, like, a moderator for me, I would love that. Let me know. Comment. I want to see Marge make glamorous Tim Burton character comment to Rachel Fuda. See, Cupcake, thank you. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Production pisses me off so bad when they put stuff in the trailers, put stuff in the previews, and then we never see it. Get your light together. That's how you know that they edited last minute. Edited this stuff. Why did they cut that out? Giving Marge a good edit. You guys, if you heard the rumor, the whole allegedly Margaret had the deal with Walmart and the makeup brushes, because allegedly Bravo, they get a cut of that. Those deals that the Housewives make, they get a cut of everything that the Housewife makes. So if she's getting a big deal and getting a lot of money, they're going to get a lot of money too. And that's what that network is about. And so they don't want people thinking that she's mean or has an arsenal or brought the oven to the reunion and allegedly was told that it wouldn't be a good look. Monica May says, I agree. I thought I just missed it. I thought I just missed it too, Mom. Sorry. Okay, well, I'm going to hop off here. I hope that all of you guys have a great day. A happy, what is today, Tuesday? And I have some more content coming up, by the way. So make sure that you guys look out. I have to finish my Caroline Manzo series. I also have another Life Lessons with Lindsay. It's on domestic violence. And I'm kind of recounting my friend's situation and how she got out of it and what it was like for her. So you guys might like that. But if not, it's okay. No worries. Like I said, The life lessons with Lindsay is something I'm doing on the side separately. It'll be a separate playlist, and I'm probably gonna get another channel for that stuff because sometimes my conversations go mental health, like we just talked earlier about being alone on the holidays if you don't have brothers and sisters or your parents are passed, and we see Teresa going through it, and we know it's a real thing that other people go through all the time. So it's good to have these conversations, it's good to talk about these things, and I just want to have another channel, another avenue, another place where we can talk a little bit more in length about mental health, a little bit more that avenue. So thank you, Carolina. I appreciate that so much. Awesome. Yes, guys. I think they will boot Trey. Oh, Camille. I don't know. Romeo, I thought it was early on in the trailer. I never saw it either. So I didn't see the Tim Burton comment either. Neither. If I find it, though, I'll let you guys know in my next video. All right, guys. Have a great day. Happy Tuesday. Bye.